الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرسله الله إلى كافة للناس بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا إليه بإذنه وسراجا منيرا قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما بعثت لأتمم مكارم الأخلاق وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما بعثت معلما. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. This is a very, very prestigious moment. We are so blessed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed us to sit here together for His sake. Honestly, we don't know the reality of this gathering. This gathering, which is the Khatam of al-Bukhari Sharif, the last hadith of Bukhari Sharif will be taught inshallah in a few moments by our Shaykh Maulana Barakatuh. And I'm just trying to fill this gap to highlight a couple of things so that we understand what does it mean. Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayhi, when he wrote Bukhari Sharif, Sahih al-Bukhari, he said that جَعَلْتُهُ بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَ اللَّهِ حُجَّةً, that this kitab, this Bukhari, Sahih al-Bukhari, I have made this a hujjat, a proof between me and between Allah. It's a huge statement. It's a very big statement that Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayhi is making, that I have made this book a proof between me and between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And why should it not be a proof? Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayhi, we all know that his title is he is Amir al-Mu'mineen fil Hadith. And Sahih al-Bukhari is the most correct book after the book of Allah. There is an ijma' on that within Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. You name anybody, whatever faith they follow, whichever school of thought people are from, but everybody has this consensus that Sahih al-Bukhari is the most correct book after the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the reason is that Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayhi, the way that he wrote this book, and he did mention that in the Iftitah of Bukhari, in the opening of Bukhari Sharif, that Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayhi, he says that whenever I used to write every single hadith, first thing first, he wrote this book in Masjid al-Haram, in Haram Sharif. 2, he would take ghusl before writing every hadith. He would pray 2 rakats of nawafil, and then he would make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Allah, please open my heart, do my sharh sadr of me before I write this hadith. And he says that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open his heart, that this hadith is, it meets all the criteria of being an authentic hadith, then he will put that hadith down. So you can imagine Amirul Mu'mineen fil hadith, a person of zuhud, a person of taqwa, a person of Allah, who did so much mujahada to get every single hadith. And then he is Haram Sharif, taking ghusl, praying 2 rak'ahs, begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for opening of the heart. And then he would put that hadith down. So there are almost like 7,000 and odd ahadith in Bukhari Sharif. If you remove the mukarrarat, the repetitions that he put in every single, there are some ahadith that he put in different chapters. Same hadith but in different chapters. If you take them out, there are almost like 4,000 approximately and some ahadith. Let's take it 4,000 for the time being. So 2 rak'ahs for every hadith that you put down, 8,000 rak'ahs that you pray. And if you put it at 7,000, 14,000 rak'at of nawafil that you prayed before you put every single hadith down. So a total of 14,000 odd or 8,000 odd nawafil that he prayed and made dua to Allah, and then he put that hadith down in this book. Of course that is hujjat. And the beauty of that is that this book became so much book, it became the book of barakat. Because of his sincerity, because of his effort, this book, Sahih al-Bukhari, became a book of blessings. And it has been a tradition of our akabirin, of our Islam, that whenever they would be in any calamity, they would read this book from cover to cover, from the start to the end, and then they will make dua. And it has been noticed that whenever that is done, the du'as are accepted. This is the power of this book. And today is a similar moment. We have not covered all of the ahadith today, but these students, Maulana, please, this is your place. Please. Apologies, I'm just filling you a gas tank. So we are not doing it today, but these students have covered the whole book or majority of the book. And that's why this ceremony is so important. It's so much filled with barakats, that they have studied these ahadith with the teachers, as Maulana Imran Sahab and their Walidan. They covered, there are 2 portions, and they have covered one each with them. With asnad, with the matan. Sitting in the company of their teachers. And the nur that Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayhi, he absorbed in his heart through the barakat of these ahadith, those anwarat got transferred from a heart to the second heart, to the third, to the fourth, to the heart of their teachers. And it came into their hearts. And today in the Khatam, the last hadith will be taught. And inshallah, because of the barakat of their presence, that they have done this book, we are also blessed. And inshallah, Hazrat Ji will teach the last hadith, as I said, and inshallah there will be a dua made at the end. So those du'as will be accepted, inshallah. And anybody who has any dua to make, this is the time. Today is the day. So this is how blessed is this gathering. People don't understand it, and still, despite of the fact that I've said what I've said, we still don't understand the reality of it. We can talk about that, but the true blessing can only be felt. And to feel that, we need to have that heart. We need to have that heart to actually experience the blessings. You know, if you remember, many of us remember that we also did the Iftitah of Bukhari Sharif. We also opened the book and we had a similar gathering. It is very interesting that whenever you start something and whenever you end something, and it is something that is good and that's great, that is always a time of sort of celebration or getting the blessing of those moments. For example, when a child is born, normally parents, they celebrate that. They tell everybody the good news. They go and in our traditions, in the subcontinental tradition, they spread the sweets, they give the sweets to different people, to their relatives, to their friends, because it's a moment of happiness, of a joy. Likewise, the Iftitah, the opening of Bukhari Sharif, was also a similar moment. But when we open something, why do we celebrate? We celebrate because we have a hope that we will get the true benefit of that thing. So we celebrate because of the hope. But the true celebration is when we end, because now we have achieved what we hoped for. But we also celebrate at the end. Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, when he was born, and he spoke in his cradle, he said, وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيَّ يَوْمَ وُلِدْتُ وَيَوْمَ أَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا. That peace be upon me the day that I was given birth, when I was born, and the day that I will die. So he mentioned 2 days, in fact the third day as well, وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا, and the day that I'll be raised up again. So there's a third day as well. I'll mention that as well. But basically the start of his life and the ending of his life. And what is the third day? The day of graduation. وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا, the day that I will be made to stand up again in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are the 3 moments. So this last year, which is the cream of the whole 4 years, last year is the cream, is the juice, is the core of all of the years that these students were studying. And this is called Dawra Hadith, because all the books of Ahadith are taught in this year. And the biggest of those books is Sahih al-Bukhari. So that's what we do. So we start this year with the Iftitah of Bukhari, which is the blessed day. We celebrate that. And then we celebrate the ending of Bukhari Sharif. And then, inshallah, whenever people will graduate, we also want to celebrate. And what is this celebration? Why are we gathered? It is in reality the shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this opportunity that He has provided all of us, that we have been able to sit in the environments of ilm. And ilm by itself is nur. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, al-ilmu nurun, and that's where nurul ilm is coming from. That ilm is nur. And the start of the ilm and the ending of the ilm, what a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has provided to all of us, that He has chosen us to get that ilm of the deen of Allah, of the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we celebrate, to be grateful to Allah ta'ala for these blessings. So these are very blessed moments. So we start with celebration and we end with celebration. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whose blessed ahadith we have been studying throughout the year, he was the first and he was the last. He said in one of the hadiths, أَفْضَلُ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ نُورِي, that the first thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created was my nur. So he was the first. He said, أُوتِيتُ عِلْمَ الْأَوَّلِينَ وَالْآخَرِينَ, I was given the knowledge of the first and the last. So he had the ilm of the first and the last. So he was the awwal. And he is the akhir. He is Khatimul Nabiyyin. He is the last of the prophets. So he enjoys both the blessings, the first and the last. So this is what we did. Right? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ana awwalu man yuftahu bab al-jannati," that I will be the first one who will open the doors of paradise. So he will also be the first who will open the door of paradise. So he is the first and he is the last. And his ahadith did we study. And what a blessing. So this is a blessing, my friends. This is all what I want to say. Ilm is a blessing. So all of us should really honestly should try to get ilm. Ilm is one of the biggest blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives to all of us. There are many ahadith that talk about the virtue of ilm. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself says in the Quran that يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ, that Allah ta'ala has raised the ranks of the people of Iman and ilm. He has raised the ranks of those people. At one place, in fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala literally scolds people. He says that do you think that the people who know and people who don't know can ever be equal? How dare did you even think that? How dare did you even think that the people of ilm and people without ilm can be equal? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has given ranks to the people of knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, إِنَّ الْعُلَمَاءَ وَرَثَةُ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ, that ulama, the scholars, are the inheritors of the prophets. And he said that the scholars, the prophets, they don't leave any wealth behind them, but they leave ilm. And whoever gets that, what a blessing. He says that the virtue of a scholar over a worshipper is like the virtue of the moon over the stars. So there are many millions of stars, but there is one full moon, and you can see the moon, and all the stars that fade away in the light of the moon. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that when students of knowledge, they leave their houses in order to get ilm, the angels, they come and they spread their wings under the feet of the students of knowledge. And one is to do their ikram, to honor them. But I was studying in one of the books and really touched me, and I never understood this hadith like that. And it said that the reason that angels spread their wing under the feet of the students of knowledge is to get the barakat out of their feet. Is to get the barakat out of their feet, and when their feet will be put on the wings, then they will also get the barakat out of that. Allah. This is how powerful ilm is. So I encourage all of you to please, this is your planning architect. So please, I encourage all of you to get ilm, to study knowledge. All men and all women. And it is difficult, it is challenging, no doubt. And I congratulate the last year students for going through all of those difficulties and all of those challenges. But inshallah, the fruits will be seen only after one is done from this. And we cannot even explain the taste of the fruits. The taste can only be felt. Taste can only be experienced. And I can congratulate all of the men, in whose houses were these blessed women. The barakat that you got out of their presence in your house is amazing because of your support, because of your encouragement, because of what you did for them. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, "Ad-dalu ala al-khayri kafa'ilihi." The person who encourages another person towards good is as if he has done that action. So your encouragement, your support to them, you'll go gain the reward for all of what they have done. They have gone through hardship, and I understand that the people, the men in the house, the children in the house have also not been the same. But subhanAllah, this is going to be it, inshallah. But the barakah, the blessings, what they're going to get in the house will be amazing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us tawfiq to actually learn and to understand the virtue of ilm. So this is an amazing moment. You know, we are ending, we're going to end, inshallah. These are blessed people who have actually gone through all of these years, who will be doing their last hadith tonight, inshallah. You know, there's a blessing after a blessing after a blessing, studying the ahadith, which are nur by itself of the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was given the ilm of the awwaleen and the akhirin, the ilm of the first and the last. This is what they acquired in this year. This is the year of hadith. That's all what they did all year long, was study the hadith. Every single hadith brought that nur in their hearts. It brought that, and also not only did they study the matan of the hadith, they studied the sanad of the hadith. Sanad is the chain of narrations that they studied from their teachers, Al-Mawlana Imran Sahib and Bajjan. They studied Bukhari Sharif from their hearts, who studied from their teachers, and they studied with their teachers, and studied with their teachers. And there's a chain going all the way to Imam Bukhari rahmatullah alayh. And Imam Bukhari in his book, he also mentions all of his chain, that he got this hadith from Fulan, and he got this hadith from Fulan, and all the way to the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So there is a nisbat all the way to the heart of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Every single hadith, there's a sanad behind that. We know where it is coming from, how it is coming, who were the people involved. This is deen. This is how authentic is our deen. So it's not only about authenticity, it is about that chain that they are hooked up to, that pipe that they are hooked up to, as if they have also joined their hearts in that pipeline. And that nur that was given to the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that trickled down from a heart to the heart to the heart to the heart, and have reached their hearts. What a blessing! And the third thing what they did, as I said in the beginning, they sat in the sunnahs of their teachers. And this is good. I was thinking while I'm doing what I'm saying, what I'm around, I should be doing. But I think it's a blessing in disguise that I'm doing it, because he will not be talking about himself, I'm sure, of course. You know, I get the opportunity that they don't know what does it mean to sit in the company of so blessed teachers. You know, subhanAllah, just sitting in the suhbat of ulama, just sitting in the suhbat of mashayikh. You know, subhanAllah, this is all supervised and very closely monitored, and by our Hazrat, who is the one of the biggest shaykh of this era. You know, his tawajjuhat, his attention, his spiritual attention, his presence, his guidance. SubhanAllah, this is nurun ala nur. So there's the shaykh, you know, they're sitting in their sohbat and that's the sohbat of their teachers. SubhanAllah, what a blessing is that? Because ilm does not come through books. It never comes through books. Remember that. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in one of the hadiths, he mentioned that Allah Ta'ala will not take away ilm from people by snatching ilm from them, but rather Allah Ta'ala will take away ilm by taking away the scholars. When the scholars will die, the ilm will be lifted, the books will remain, Sahih al-Bukhari will remain, Sahih al-Muslim will remain, Sajjari of Imam Tirmidhi will remain, Sunan of Imam Nisai, Sunan of Abu Dawood, and Muwatta of Imam Malik. All of these books will remain, the ulama will go away. Allah Ta'ala will take away the ulama, the majority of the ulama, and the ilm will be lifted. Because the hearts will be gone. In whose presence, in whose sohbat you will be able to sit and get that nur of ilm from their hearts. So the presence of the teachers, their sohbat, sitting in their company, acquiring that nur from their hearts. You know, this is what a true ilm is about. And not only that you get ilm, another thing, there is a blessing, it's nur ala nur, that you also get the tarbiyat done. You're always reminded of what you're doing, what should be corrected, what's right, what's wrong. At the end of the day, it's up to the students as to how much do they want to acquire and put that into their lives. But this is what was done as well. And I encourage the students that honestly this is the last chance. You won't get these moments again. There will be different moments, but these moments will not return. So please, be grateful of this blessing. What a blessing is this? So please, let's cherish these moments and do shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And people who are coming, the students who are coming behind from the men and the women, I encourage all of you to please travel hard, make an effort, because the blessing that you get at the end of the day is unmatchable. You cannot get anything like that in your life. And the reality of this will only be known, my friends, in the Qadar. And the reality of it will only be known on the day of judgment. And on that day, inshallah, we will understand that will be our final graduation. That will be the true moments of celebration, inshallah. So let's prepare for that day. Let's implement whatever we have learned. And all the people should make an effort to also reach this point. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all tawfiq to understand this. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to do true shukr of this blessing. I thank you from the core of my heart to Maulana Imran Sahab and Majidam both for making this effort. May Allah accept it from you. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, now we'll connect to Hazrat you, and inshallah we'll teach the last hadith of Bukhari Sharif. Please, I encourage all of you to sit with adab and please listen with all of your ears, and please open your heart to also absorb the nur, inshallah.